So in case you guys have been living under a mountain like 5 certain dragons, Juice is my all-time favorite game. But here's the thing, I haven't really made a whole lot of videos of this game. Sure, I did a playthrough of it, show my top 10 best cars in the game, which is actually still doing amazing to this day, but that's it so far. Well, last year, I also made a video about a guide in another one of my favorite games, Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter. So I thought, both videos are doing good. Juice is my all-time favorite game. I'm going to put an idea of one of my most successful videos into my all-time favorite game. So at the time of recording this video, I've been playing Juice for 13 years. I have played through the whole game at least 5 different times now. Of course, most of the time I just played the game for fun and not really for progression. But I have played this game long enough to go through the best parts that a player can experience while playing through the career, and the worst parts as well. So for today, I, Azurion, will be going through a full-on guide on Juiced. What to do, what not to do, and how to become good at the game. Not that I'll probably be any better. This video is essentially for beginners, in case there are people who are, by some chance, new to this game, for returning players who need some tips, or if you're watching this purely for entertainment. So without further ado, let us get into my guide on the career mode in Juice. And as always, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are getting super close to 500 subscribers, so let's try to reach that goal, guys. It will really mean a lot to me. So when you first load into the career, you are immediately forced into a race with a crew leader named TK.
Hey, I'm TK. Welcome to Angel City. So you want to race, huh? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna loan you some wheels for one race only. If you bend my wheels, you'll have to pay. After the race, buy your own vehicle. To make it interesting, let's have a little bet.
TK offers you one of his cars to use for only this one race, and offers to make a bet to make it interesting. I mean, you're in a tuned out Eclipse against a bone stock Mazda, you're winning this race. So for this race, try raising the bet to get a little extra cash. Even if TK declines, you'll still get a good bit of respect regardless, so just go for the raise anyway. Now, TK does say that if you damage his car at all, you will have to pay him for it. Obviously, the pay will vary depending on how much damage you deal to the car, but of course that also applies to nitrous. The car does have nitrous installed, but I recommend to not use any of it, as it's just a guaranteed 500 you'll have to pay. Remember that TK is giving you an all-wheel drive car against its stock rear-wheel drive, so don't use any NOS at all. It'll be an easy win without it, trust me. After the first race, the game prompts you to buy a car, either the Volkswagen Beetle, Honda CRX, or Peugeot 206. Obviously, don't pick any of the damaged ones, it will just be extra money you have to pay. Personally, if you want to save money, I would go for the CRX. It's cheaper, and when it comes to power, it's not too far behind the Beetle, so just go for the Honda. Of course, you can choose one of the other cars if you want. The CRX is just my personal recommendation, because let's face it, who's going to be using a Volkswagen Beetle to race? Sorry, I'm not racing in a Volkswagen Beetle, I'm sorry. After you buy your car, before you even think about racing, head to the workshop first to tune your car a bit. Now, this game works on a progression system, so when you first buy a car, you start out with some pretty basic and crappy upgrades and very limited customization. The only way to unlock more customization is to use that car in races. I think you can unlock all upgrades and customization after 3 or 4 races in that car. If you lose that car by any chance, all the upgrades that you've unlocked for it will still be available to reinstall, granted you have the money for it. Anyways, back to the first car. You can install all level 1 upgrades excluding NOS and Turbo, so install all of those. If you want to add customization, you can. Most of the body options are locked, with rims and spoilers being the only exception, as well as all the visuals being available. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this game also has an ECU fine-tune system where you can switch between lower or higher horsepower. This is very important to the game because horsepower depends on what kind of races your car can compete in. For example, you may have noticed that the CRX is in Class 8. The classes in this game depend on horsepower, Class 8 being the worst and less powerful cars, all the way to Class 1, the most powerful and dangerous cars. If this car were to exceed 199 horsepower by using specific engine upgrades or tuning the ECU just right, it will put the car at the bottom of Class 7. Personally though, I would recommend keeping this car in Class 8, probably maxing out at 199 brake horsepower, at least until you can get some hands on prototype parts. More on that later. Whatever you do though, make sure you don't blow all of your money on upgrades and customization. When it comes to racing in this game, especially when you're just getting started, money is essential. So now that you have your illustrious Class 8 car, it's time to do some racing. If you select Go Race, you'll see this calendar for all the races. Basically, it's an infinite calendar where random races appear. If you accidentally miss a race you really want to do, don't worry, it'll most likely appear again later. You'll most often see show-off and circuit races here, though. Now remember earlier when I said something about races giving you more customization for your car? That applies to every race type you do. I think it excludes pink slip racing though. Basically in this game there are a couple different race types that you'll find within the calendar. You'll often find circuits, sprints, which are basically one-on-one drag racing, point-to-points, which also tied to circuit races, I guess. Which I guess you could put them in like a grit category or something. Then you also have show-off events, and then you'll often have group races too, or team races, but I'll get more into that later. So if you want to do an event to earn some upgrades without the risk of gambling, try doing one of these show-off events first. These are very easy to do in front-wheel drive cars anyway, and I mean, well, you're most definitely going to have a front-wheel drive car at the start of the game, so I wouldn't see why not. Basically, all you have to do in these events is do some cool tricks to increase your score and make it reach the goal score. If you're really good, or if you just spam max speed 360s like me, you can rack up a lot of points and therefore earn more respect. All the respect from these races go to Sue, leader of the Vixens. These races don't give any cash, they're merely for respect, but again, they're really good if you want to get some upgrades for your car pretty quickly and without any risk. Now that you've gotten some customization and upgrades, installed some turbo and NOS, now it's time to race, for real. The first real races you see will be hosted by TK. Normally races in this game require an entry fee, but all of TK's races are free to attend, thankfully. When you enter a race and choose your car, you will see the table of who is competing and what their cars are. You can choose to place a bet with another driver, assuming you have enough money left over after customizing your car. If you choose to bet with someone, this is where respect can be earned or even lost. Every crew leader has their own preferred bet. If you place too high above their preferred amount, they might decline, but it will increase respect. At this point, you can just bet their preferred amount. In my opinion, I don't find it worth checking your opponent's car. It's mostly just a waste of money right now. You only see the opponent's parts and mods they have installed anyway, so it's not really worth it. I personally think it would have been a lot better if you could actually get like a panoramic view of the car, and you could probably be in like some kind of car meet or something, like how it shows in the intro cutscene. I don't know why they wouldn't include that. That sounds awesome. Sometimes even if you don't choose to bet with someone, there's a chance that someone else will make a bet with you. They'll automatically offer their preferred bet, but if you choose to raise the bet, they might double it. Even if they don't, you'll only get extra respect after that, so if you're feeling confident you'll win the race, just go for raising the bet. If you raise the bet but decline it afterwards, you will lose respect for chickening out. You won't if you decline before the bet is even made though. Now for some fundamentals about racing. One thing to keep in mind, if you make a bet with someone, you'll occasionally hear them speak based on if you pass that person or if they pass you. Most often they won't speak for so long and you'll be jump scared as you forgot you even made a bet with someone. I learned that the hard way. Also, you may have noticed a big red R on the top right of the screen. This is the amount of respect you earn for a race. More on that later. All I will say for now, this game really encourages players to drive clean and not crash into any cars. If you do, you will lose respect for that person as you'll get a notification that says damage caused, and then the respect you see at the top right will decrease. For the first few races in the game, you can get hundreds of respect points for specific crew leaders, but after the first couple races, it's not going to happen anymore. Genuinely, I kind of think that was a garbage idea though, because that just makes the game feel way too fast. I'm going to be honest, in terms of speedrunning this game, you can probably beat this game in a couple hours. It is not a long game at all, unfortunately. That's why I don't really speedrun through it. I just have fun with it and don't really do it for progression. And also, if you damage your car too much, your nitrous may actually start to leak, causing it to deplete on its own. It can also damage your car's turbo, killing your car's acceleration, and you can even damage your car's steering, making your car constantly bear in one direction like your joystick is broken. These fundamentals actually make the game a lot more challenging with more powerful cars, and will often cost you some big bucks to repair, which is why I actually recommend sticking to lower powerful cars until you get a good feeling for the different car types. That being said, now would actually be a good time to talk about the right cars to use, at least my personal recommendations. When you're still early on in the game and getting used to the cars, Class 8 and 7 are good cars to start with. They're not very expensive, and let's face it, some of them are the best for customization. But remember to keep the thought in mind of which car should go in which class. Even if the brake horsepower on the car is high enough, that doesn't always mean the car is good enough for the class. I learned that the hard way. Here's a few examples. The Honda Civic, Fiat Punto, and Toyota Corolla. God, the Corolla is such a crappy car. These cars in particular are okay in Class 8. Actually, the Civic isn't too bad in this class. But these cars do not have a good top speed at all. If you want to drive these cars at all, keep these cars in Class 8. If you put them in Class 7, even with maxed out parts, the top speed does not change at all, assuming you don't mess with the gear ratios. I mean, I never mess with the gear ratios, so I probably wouldn't know. But Class 7 cars are for cars that can top their speed at roughly 140 miles per hour or higher. I mean, if you have a Class 7 Corolla against a bone stock NSX, you're screwed. That's why more powerful bone stock cars are better for Class 7 once you get some upgrades for them, such as the Mitsubishi Eclipse, Lancer 6 and FTO, Honda and Acura NSX and S2000, Subaru 22B, among a few dozen others. There are some cars that can range from 1 horsepower to one that is much higher, for better and sometimes for worse. For example, I highly recommend to not fully max out the Camaro Z28 or Mustang Fastback. These cars may be really good with acceleration, but they have very poor top speeds. If you ever want to drive them for whatever reason, I'd recommend keeping these cars at the top of Class 6, or rather at 399 horsepower. Because if you max them out at roughly, I think it was like 669 horsepower, around there, which would be close to the top of Class 3, the closer to the top of Class 3, then you're most likely screwed, because at that point you'll be dealing with Mitsubishi 3000 GTs, Corvette Z06s, and maybe even Dodge Vipers. So at that point, with those cars, yeah, you're not winning any races. I'm sorry. And one thing to keep in mind especially is that the car is based on their drivetrain types. The different drivetrain types each make all the cars feel unique to drive. This is something I really like about the car physics, but sometimes hate at the same time too. Front-wheel drive cars often have lower top speed, but great traction. Rear-wheel drive cars often have better top speeds, but more oversteer and less acceleration, with a few exceptions. And all-wheel drive cars are great with acceleration, but often have an understeer. Meanwhile, the Skyline having an opposite. I'll never understand why. In my opinion, I say choose which ones match your feeling. It's all about balance. If you want more control and stability over speed, go for front-wheel drive. Or if you want to go fast and you're good with controlling cars at high speeds, then go for rear. And if you want a car that's good with acceleration and you're good with understeer, then go for all-wheel. It's all about balance and all about preference, I suppose. Now let's get into how to fully max out your car, not by using level 3 mods, but by using prototype mods. You may have noticed by now that within the race day calendar, you'll see all of these sponsored events hosted by TK. These races not only double the normal prize money of that race, but they also give you prototype mods, the most powerful mods in the game. Most of the time I've only seen these races specifically classes 6 through 8, so I haven't really found any classes for higher, unless I've never paid attention. Keep in mind though, for some reason, these races are much harder than TK's standard races. I mean, I swear, Maria's like 3 times better in these races, because she's most of the time using that damn Eclipse. If you win, you unlock a specific prototype mod for that car, and it is automatically installed onto your car. If you by chance lose your car with the prototype mods that were installed, you can still reinstall the prototype part after you unlock it, but each prototype part is crazy expensive. So make sure you have some extra cash on you just in case. I would recommend at least a couple $100,000. If you have at least 4 prototype mods installed on your car, you'll be able to participate in prototype races. These races are often harder than normal races and have a higher entry fee, but have a significantly higher prize. That's why I recommend making specific cars prototype cars, like the Nissan 350Z, Mitsubishi Lancer 8, among several others. I would not recommend giving them to the cars that are only good in Class 8 though, so keep in mind. Now for probably the riskiest racing in this game. Before I get to the main tips about respect, I think I should give a few pointers about pink slip racing. So based on how your respect is with any of the crew leaders, you can call up crew leaders to do pink slip races, or they'll even call you when you least expect it. It's happened to me I don't know how many times. It always involves you choosing your most powerful car, and for the microscopic chance that someone watching this video doesn't know what a pink slip race is, basically you're betting your car. If you lose your car. If you win, you keep your car and keep your opponent's car. I honestly really like these. They really add the risk and the challenge, and the anxiety of losing your car only encourages players to actually win. But at the same time, You know, I spent a lot of time on these. So many painful, grueling, crappy, risky, nerve-wracking, heart-pumping, mind-racing, anxiety-inducing, hellish races that I've wasted countless hours on! Meh, I'm over it though. Now that I'm older, they don't really scare me as much as they used to. I love the challenge that these races give, but I'm not saying that you will too. Actually, now that I think about it, I actually forgot to mention. In the career mode of this game, you cannot restart any races. This applies to both normal betting and pink slip races. If you make a bet with someone, you've already spent your money. If you're losing a race and decide to reset the game and try again, you will not get your money back. This applies to pink slip racing too. Hell, the game even warns you before you agree to bet your car. Even an accidental power loss will cause you to lose your car. I don't even recommend doing these races if you're going through a thunderstorm. That is not an exaggeration. If the power goes out even for a second and it turns off your console, you have lost your car. This is the risk that really makes players encouraged and pumped to win. And there will be times where you will lose. Trust me, when I was a kid, I lost countless Vipers and Z06s I spent so much money on. It's all because I didn't know how to control a car that was over 1,000 horsepower. I can hear 11-year-old me saying, "My car was more powerful, how did I lose?" I mean, it's gonna happen. Which leads me to one useful tip I have for pink slip racing. If you are doing pink slip races specifically for getting new cars, make sure your most powerful car is at least in class 7. In this class, you can potentially get the best cars for customization, like the Mazda RX-7 or 8, Nissan 350Z, among a few dozen more. And even if you lose your car at this point, it will not be too expensive to buy a replacement and put your upgrades back on. Because at this point, you'll probably have at least 100k in your bank, if not then more. In summary, when you do pink slip races, just be mindful of what cars are racing. Recall about what I said earlier about horsepower and drivetrain types especially. Alright, now for basically the main fundamental of the game, the respect system. Basically, by earning enough respect with specific crews, you earn privileges. Having 100 respect points allows you to attend specific race events and watch that race in the leader's territory. Having 300 respect points allows you to race in that leader's territory. 600 respect points allows you to call the crew leader to do a pink slip race, and at that point they'll even call you. And 1,000 respect points allows you to host your own events on that leader's territory. Basically, one of the main objectives of Juice revolves around you earning respect to unlock all privileges for all crew leaders. Every crew leader's respect will increase or decrease based on what you do and how you do it. TK of the Urban Maulers likes it when you win circuit or point-to-point racing. Biggie of the AWB likes it when you do sprint racing, otherwise drag racing, as I said before. Sue of the Vixens likes it when you do show-off events and get a lot of score, again, as I mentioned before. Maria of the Wildcats likes it when you complete races with your crew members. Basically, you'll get called about having new crew members join, which are essentially just computer drivers who do the work for you, but I'm gonna be honest, I barely ever do these. That's why it took me forever to max out Maria's respect in the career mode. Jack of Omega Tau likes it when you max out your car. Melody of the Public Chaos likes it when you increase your car collection. Papa of the Lords likes it when you gamble and win bets. And finally, Carlos of the Legion likes it when you win pink slip races. And if you do the exact opposite of all of what I just said, then you lose respect based on that crew leader. Like, if you lose a pink slip race, you lose respect with Carlos. If you lose a sprint race, you lose respect with Biggie, and so on and so forth. Additionally, you can also complete each crew leader's challenges. Each one has 3 of them, and requires you to have a specific car. These challenges are also needed for game completion and will either be lap times, where you must complete a lap in a specific car in under a time limit, perfect laps, which are basically lap times, only you cannot damage your car, and speed challenges, where you have to complete a whole lap while staying above a certain speed. These can get really tricky sometimes, and you'll most likely have to add some upgrades to the designated car before you can complete the challenge. Only one time will all these challenges give you a little catch each, but after that, you can do these as many times as you want, and you can get the same amount of respect points for doing them. So basically, I'd recommend doing it when you're getting close to maxing out a crew leader's respect, or if you just want to, if you're fine by doing the same missions over and over again until you max out their respect. Because let's face it, I did that with Maria. It took forever to max out her respect, so I had to. And that's it. That's my guide to the career mode in Juice. Now, I am aware I didn't go through every single detail about the career. Most of everything I just mentioned are essential to the main game, but the rest is just miscellaneous. If you do have any questions about anything I may or may not have missed, or just questions in general, please let me know in the comments. I will gladly respond. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot, and I appreciate it a ton. Be sure to also join the Discord as well. A lot of people have been joining recently, so I really like what we got, something really big starting to grow. So, and I really like what we got going here, so let's please join that as well. It would mean a lot. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one. Until then, this is Azurion signing out. Bye-bye!